Hey there, good morning. It's meteorologist Julia Quaid. Happy Sunday. Taking a look at our view or the lack thereof from our tower cam. This is all due towards that freezing fog that's really draping across the majority of East Tennessee, but really primarily our valley communities having to bear with the worst of those conditions right now. So we can see not much of a view as we take a look at our tower cam, but just a few miles further off towards the east over in Pigeon Forge in Sevier County, they're looking at a much different picture waking up this morning on our Sunday, having to deal with those same cool frigid temperatures, but not so much in that freezing fog right now impacting them. Taking a look at our visibility, you can see where the worst of it is, like I noted, over towards our valley community. So of course that includes us here in downtown Knoxville, looking at around 3 miles or less of visibility for those communities and neighborhoods. Looking at that freezing fog advisory, that's going to continue to be in place until 10 o'clock this morning across the majority of East Tennessee and including our neighbors over in North Carolina. And not seeing too much of the view of this, of course, because we're focusing just in our region, but just to make note on just how much this freezing fog is kind of draping throughout portions of the mid-Atlantic area, Virginia, my home state of Maryland, also being impacted by those same freezing fog advisories right now. Looking at our temperatures across the region, again, like I noted, our neighbors over in Pigeon Forge, while they don't have to deal with that freezing fog and poor visibility at the moment, we all are going to be in for those cold, freezing and below freezing point temperatures right now, all of us sitting into those lower 30s or 20s across the region. Now looking at our futurecast, going to have some changes coming in with the building of that cloud cover by around this afternoon. That's going to carry on over towards your evening. We're going to have more of that blanket cloud cover before that next system arrives. That's going to bring along with it some isolated showers to be expected in the forecast, along with some snow and a little bit of wintry precip that could start to build along the higher elevations nearby the Smokies, and more of that snowfall that could start to build and get a little bit thick at times throughout portions of North Carolina and Virginia, mostly going further out towards southeastern Virginia for more heavier impacts with the system in terms of their snowfall amounts. Now looking at our temperature trend associated with that system for us in terms of precip here in East Tennessee, most of us are just going to really see isolated shower activity. Nothing too impressive at all to come for us in our forecast in terms of snowfall amounts. But what's also going to be impressive for us, though, is going to be that fall in our temperatures going back down well below average to the 40s. Today, like I mentioned, getting a bit of a break, going up towards the lower 50s for our afternoon high temperature. But again, changes ahead as we look towards your Monday with that system pushing on through. But we'll start to rebound a bit by the midweek. Wednesday and Thursday back up towards near average high temperatures into the 50s before another cold blast enters our region with a strong trough, giving us a return to those below average and maybe a bit of a dabble to freezing or below freezing temperatures ahead for us for the start of your next week forecast. So looking at our low temperatures too, this will also showcase how cold that blast is going to be for us next week. Looking ahead towards your Saturday, carrying on over to your Sunday and throughout the next week, we're going to see our temperatures for our lows barely make it out up under the freezing point as well into the 20s. So it's going to really kind of dictate and really show, I should say, just how cold this blast is going to be with this next trough that's going to drape its way across East Tennessee late next week into your weekend. And that's why we'll see a return of those cold temperatures that will feel somewhat reminiscent to what we're experiencing today, but hopefully not so much on the freezing fog point that we're having to experience on our Sunday morning here. Now looking at our temperature outlook, I think this is really important to showcase how we are really going to be on the side of this system where we're going to be experiencing well below average temperatures into the 30s. Again, like I just showed you a moment ago, with our temperatures falling into that range ahead for us towards the end of our work week into next weekend. So this makes sense that we look at our temperature outlook here, where we're going to be dealing with well below average temperatures in the forecast for a bit of a minute here. But before we get there, we're going to have a little bit of a roller coaster ride with our temperatures kind of increasing, then decreasing with these next couple systems that will push throughout the region. First one again coming in overnight into your Monday. That's what's going to give us that wintry precip for the higher elevations and for our neighbors over in Virginia and North Carolina. For us, primarily just experiencing rainfall as temperatures fall into the 40s. Rebound with more sunshine coming in, going back up to the 50s, approaching that more near average time frame in terms of our temperatures for this time of year before we fall right back down to the 40s with that next system that's going to pass on through, giving us below average freezing point temperatures again ahead for us next weekend.